kids, it's Miss Diane from the Kinsman Free Public Library. Welcome to another Gnome on the Roam story time. I'm here with our friend Sheldon today at Red Basket Farm, Good Intentions Market and Cafe. Operator and manager of Good Intentions Market and Cafe. So thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Can you tell us a little bit about the market and cafe?
Sure. So we own Red Basket Farm, which is a produce farm. And so every day we pick and pack and deliver this great produce. It's available for you to just come and buy, take home for your family. And we also take it and we make delicious salads and soups and sandwiches right from the fresh produce.
That's awesome. So you get everything right from the ground, locally in town. You don't have to go to the big grocery stores and buy them. You can get everything right here. So we're so happy that you opened this. This is a great space for families to come into.
Yes.
So today I'm going to share a couple of stories with you that are about vegetables. So thank you again, Amy, for having us out today. So the first story I'm going to share with you today is a non-fiction book. So if you ever wanted to know how to plant vegetables or make a garden, this is the section you would go to. So I'm going to share with you Way to Grow Gardening Vegetables. Chapter 1 is Planting a Vegetable Garden. Vegetables may not be your favorite thing to eat, but they're so good for you. And that just means you've never had them from a fresh from your own garden. They taste so much better, so much flavor. Growing your own vegetables is fun and delicious, and it's good for you and the earth too. Many vegetables are easy to grow. Let's learn how. First, you start with your seeds and your seedlings. Most vegetables are annual, which means that you plant them every year. They just don't come back up out of the ground. If you plant seeds, you can start them inside and then plant the seedlings in the ground after the last frost in March or April. Many people in our area wait until after Memorial Day, which is the end of May. So there are many different kinds of vegetables. Root vegetables like carrots and onions and beets that grow under the ground, and then your leafy vegetables like lettuce and spinach and your green beans. I hope you like green beans. Here's a picture of our carrots. So you don't need a lot of space to grow vegetables. You can plant them in pots or in small patches, or start a community garden if your town doesn't have one. It's a good way for you to make friends, and your neighbors get to eat healthy food too. So you get to plant things together. To make sure your garden is successful, you need really good soil. Vegetables like well-drained soil that is rich with organic matter, and compost, and even manure. Soil needs to be loose before you plant. You have to dig it up with a shovel. It's a lot of work, but it's worth the reward. A good way to make healthy soil is to plant things in raised beds. So you would build a planter and plant the plants in the bed instead of in the ground. You have to water it a lot. To care for your garden, you have to water the plants early in the morning. If you water them late in the day, the water can just quickly be lost in the hot sun. Some flowers and herbs have a strong odor and many pests don't like them. If you plant them near your vegetables, you can help keep the pests away. You also have to pull out the bad weeds that crowd out the plants. Because nothing grows better than a weed. The vegetables are ready to pick. You can gather some when they are ripe. You can pick some early, and they'll ripen inside as they sit. This is a beet right here. Boy, are they yummy on salads. So that's just a little bit about how to grow your own garden. You can even keep the seeds and plant them next year and use them again. It's a good way to recycle. So as you can see, we have different vegetables here. We have our green beans. This is called Kohlrabi. You can make a slaw out of it or just slice it and eat it. You know, it's kind of a strange looking vegetable. These are small cucumbers that you can make pickles out. So if you really like pickles, that's what you would use. And then our regular cucumbers that they chop up and put on salad. This is summer squash and zucchini, and a lot of people like to fry them up in butter. And there's peppers. This is fresh eggplant, which is really good in pasta dishes with red sauce. And then they have all different kinds of lettuce. There's romaine, a spring mix, and then these are the heads of lettuce. So they grow these in the greenhouse. You can also grow them in the garden. We have curly kale up here, and Swiss chard, which is supposed to be really good for you. And they have these wonderful onions. They're really super sweet. They're called candy onions. If you'd like to try any of these great new vegetables, come and visit Good Intentions in Kinsman. So there's two more stories that I'm going to share with you today, and these are fiction stories, but they do give you some information about gardens and vegetables. So the first story I'm going to share with you is The Surprise Garden by Zoe Hall and illustrated by Sherry Hadley. We're planting the seeds for a surprise garden. Can you guess what we will grow? Can you see that all the seeds are different shapes and sizes? I wonder what they're going to be. We don't know. It's a surprise. First we use our trowel and rake to loosen up the soil. Even the dog's helping. Look at that. He's digging in the soil too. Mom has given us each a handful of all different kinds of seeds. Look at all the different shapes and sizes. We don't know what they are though. We poke the seeds into the soil one by one. We have painted sticks different colors to mark the different kinds of seeds. And we know where they are in the ground. Then we water the seeds and wait for our surprise garden to grow. I wonder what it's going to be. We planted a surprise seed in the reading garden at the library. If you ever visit the library and look for the heart-shaped stones on the ground, you can see what's growing there. Soon the seeds sprout into small green shoots. Bunnies like them too. You have to be careful, they like to eat the tops right off. We water the plants and the sun warms them. Our garden grows and grows. On some plants, flowers bloom. And that's when you know that your fruit is growing, when you see flowers on the plants. And these are very important because they pollinate those plants. We need them to grow our vegetables and our fruits like apples and pears and peaches. Before long, the petals fall off. And surprise, we see some things that have started to grow. There's peas on this plant, spring beans here, and some yellow squash like we saw downstairs. All different kinds of shapes and sizes of plants. What's this leafy thing? On some plants, leaves grow close to the ground. Here we have spinach, and here we have lettuce, which the bunnies really like. And what is growing here? What are these strange things? If you like broccoli, this is where it comes from. It grows up on this big stalk, and then they cut it off. Same with cauliflower. It starts inside this big leafy plant, and they have to cut it off at the bottom, and then take it to the store. Is there anything growing here? Surprise! You find carrots and radishes. They are growing under the ground. guess what this is? This is the longest plant in the garden. The vines grow everywhere. The flowers bloomed on this plant too, and surprise, we find a big watermelon. And this is the tallest plant in our garden. Does everybody know what this is? Surprise, it's a sunflower. It's full of tasty seeds that the birds like to eat. I like to eat them too. All summer long, the food in our surprise garden ripens. We like to pick the food. And we certainly like to eat it. So today, we're having a garden party. Look at this delicious salad. Everything they grew in their garden. But this is where your food comes from before you find it in the store. It doesn't grow in a package, it grows in the ground. And it grows into a beautiful plant until you pick everything up. So here's a list in the back here. If you check this book out, you can read about what the different seeds are and what they make. This black one here is the watermelon. You can see the seeds right inside the fruit. And those are the ones you save for next year to plant. So the second story I'm going to share with you today is called Up, Down, and Around. It's by Catherine Ayers and illustrated by Name D. Bernard Westcott. Ooh, look at all these bugs. Bugs are good for the garden. See, there's a centipede and a worm, and there's ants. So there are good bugs and there are bad bugs. A lot of bugs like to eat those nice green leaves. In the dirt, we dig a row, and we drop some seeds, and we watch them grow. Dirt piles up, seeds go down, water splashes round and round. The corn grows up, the carrots grow down. Cucumbers climb around and around. Peppers grow up, potatoes grow down. Uh-oh, birds are tied up. Pumpkins climb around and around. Broccoli grows up and beets grow down. Look at all these bugs. Oh, it looks like a mole. Moles like to eat those things under the ground. Green beans wind round and around. Okra grows up and onions grow down. Tomatoes twine around and around above the ground. Oh, here's our scarecrow. You keep all the birds out of your garden. That's where the idea of the scarecrow came from. Fresh and tasty, get a bunch, pick some, pull some. Now let's have lunch. Ooh, look at all those yummy things. We made a pumpkin pie out of the pumpkins. Looks like a really yummy vegetable soup here, and of course a great big yummy salad. So I hope you grow some vegetables too. It's really easy to do, and if you need help, just stop at the library and check out some books. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.